All right, welcome everybody. I'm Mike Branton. I want to welcome you to 5 ways to gain new customers right now without being salesy. We're going to get started with the presentation deck here in just a minute, but I wanted to take just a second first to welcome everybody and thank you for joining me today. I know that for a lot of people, promoting your business, promoting your passion, promoting your life's work can be a very personal thing. It can be very scary for some people, and for others, very hard, scary in a lot of different ways for a lot of different folks, and for other people it can be very, very easy. A lot of people are very excited to do that and they love it. I also know that we have a lot of people that are here with different levels of experience. I imagine we've probably got some folks that have joined because they've never promoted their business at all and they're looking for how to get started. We'll definitely cover that information, as well as some information that will be very valuable for those of you out there who have been promoting your business for a long time and are looking to go from good to great, to maybe get some new ideas, maybe see how other people are doing various things. So I really hope that, I know that everybody here will find value in what I've brought for you today. And with that, let's get into it. I'm gonna get my slide deck going here. Give me just a second to share my screen with you and get into presentation mode here. All right, so you should be seeing the 5 ways to gain new customers deck title on the screen, and you are. Okay, good. So 5 ways to gain new customers right now without being salesy. So here's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn how to promote your business without guilt or fear and without feeling salesy. We're going to learn the common strategies associated with promoting your business and how we're going to learn the common challenges associated with promoting your business and how to overcome them, and also some myths that really have held people back in the past. And I want to show you some realities that might offset those myths for you. We're also going to see the 3 ways that businesses gain customers and which one of those or which ones of those might be right for you. We're going to see the 5 strategies, or 5 of the strategies that you can use to gain new customers right now. And then finally, I'm going to give you 4 or more specific action steps that you can take to begin each one of those strategies today. Before we do, I want to touch base just real quickly on some of the resources I have available for you today. I do have this slide presentation deck is available for download. So if you go to my website, michaelbranton.com/5waysdeck, you will be able to get in there and download the presentation deck that we're using today. I know during an hour-long presentation as we have today, a lot of things can happen. You can get interrupted, some more important phone call could come in. Some of you may be watching this at home with kids that need attention or something like that. So if you do get interrupted, no worries. Go to michaelbranton.com/5waysdeck and you can see the presentation deck. If you're watching this as a replay, of course, you can probably just restart the video, pause the video as you need and restart, and you can still get the presentation deck if you want it. The other thing that I want to touch on is my one-on-one coaching that I have available. I am a sales coach, as some of you, hopefully all of you know by now. I am a sales coach. I do offer the first hour of coaching completely for free. You can go to my website, michaelbranton.com, and click on any of the blue buttons there that will take you to the sign up for the 1-hour free coaching. So I'd love to meet you. I'd love to talk with you about your business and your passion. Feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have questions about today's presentation deck. If there's something you had hoped to see that we don't cover today, I'd love to hear from you. Please schedule an hour-long session. If you're here in the St. Louis area like I am, I'll even come to your place of business if that's something that you want to do, or meet you for coffee or something, meet you face-to-face. If you're outside the St. Louis area, I like to do video conferences just like we're doing here today. Or I do have clients that do fly me to different cities to work with their teams as well. So I'm certainly willing to travel too. But I do 1-hour free coaching at michaelbranton.com. Please feel free to go there and sign up, and I'd love to meet with you. So let's talk about centered selling. I know you are seeing the logo centered selling at the bottom of the slides. And to make it very simple, centered selling is me. That's me there without the beard, actually. Yeah, it's a picture of me without the beard. So you get a before and after there. But centered selling really is me. It's the business entity that I've set up for the business and financial side of the sales coaching that I do. And, you know, a few words about me. I'm just a normal person. I'm not going to give you some big hero's journey story about, you know, a near-death experience that caused me to suddenly want to be a sales coach or anything like that. I'm just a normal person living a normal, very blessed life that I'm very thankful for. I have no life-changing near-death experience to tell you about. I do have a lot of sales and marketing and business experience. So I've been in sales and marketing for 25 years. I've worked as an individual salesperson. I've worked as a coach to some of the most successful people at some of the biggest companies in the world. I have a passion for helping others achieve. Everybody has their thing. You know, for some folks it's money. Their favorite reward might be recognition. Who knows? Everybody's got a different hot button in terms of what really, really drives them, what really motivates them. For me, it's a passion for helping others. Nothing touches my heart. Nothing makes me feel like what I've done is valuable more than when somebody tells me that something we've talked about or something I've shown them led them to make a breakthrough that they might not have otherwise made. I love it. It's the most amazing thing about what I do. I also have a track record of success with Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 10, as a matter of fact. If you've looked at my resume, you've seen I've worked with among the very, very largest of companies in the world, coaching salespeople who are at the very top of their field, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've also, in the 25 years that I've been in sales and sales management, I've built 3 profitable businesses completely from scratch, and 3 that were not so profitable. I've cold called by phone. I've fax blasted people back when that was legal and, you know, a viable way to get business. I've done door-to-door sales, never residential, but in large multi-tenant business environments where you're going from office suite to office suite, introducing myself and the things that we offered. I've been responsible for the sales results of as many as 400 people in my career. Back in my corporate life, I had up chains of 400 people at the peak of my leadership journey there. I've been fired twice as a result of delivering mediocre results. One time as an individual contributing salesperson, as a frontline salesperson, and another time as a sales manager. And you know, I strongly believe that that's made me a better coach. Very difficult for me to imagine being able to coach people through success and also times of frustration, times of challenge. We've all been there. We've all been in places where we're very, very proud of what we've achieved and places where we haven't been so proud. And I firmly believe that in order to be a successful and valuable coach, a coach needs to have had success, and they have to have experienced a lack of success too. And I promise you, I've had both. And I've experienced call reluctance and plenty of rejection in my sales career. It's natural. Everybody experiences it. I certainly have too. I've spent thousands of hours and thousands of dollars learning online marketing, including audio and video recording and editing, web development, auto response email campaigns. I developed and launched several online advertising campaigns for my various businesses, and I continue to do it all on my own. I find that it's easy to do. By doing it myself, I can keep the costs low. And a good successful campaign, a good successful business requires adjustments and tweaks along the way. And if you're doing it yourself, you can do that, and you can make yourself even more successful. So that's a little bit about me. You will find me at my website, michaelbranton.com. Here's a little kind of screen blurb. You should be seeing, you're seeing a couple of screen captures from my website, and you can see like I said, the blue buttons you can click on to claim your free coaching session. There's all kinds of different places you can go to get that on my website. That's where I promote my centered selling and my sales coaching today. So you may be asking, how did you come up with centered selling as a business entity or as a logo? And I'm pretty willing to guess that nobody out there is guessing ceiling fan. This is a pretty gnarly ceiling fan here, I know, and the reason I have it is that I was actually working in one of my properties that I was renovating, and I was taking down this old, nasty, gnarly ceiling fan. Not this one, not the one you're seeing on your screen, but one that was equally nasty. And I was up on a ladder, and I was taking the ceiling fan down, and if you've ever taken down a ceiling fan, there's a bunch of little mounting bolts up at the top, and as you take those down, the ceiling fan is going to drop, and usually there's still wiring in there that you have to cut to completely let the fan go. This particular day, I was taking down this fan, and I'd taken down, by the way, 3 others that were exactly the same in the same house. I've done this dozens of times in the past, but this one time I just couldn't. I was up there, and I was getting ready to take that last bolt down, and I just didn't want to do it. I was like scared or uneasy or something like that, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I started to kind of pay attention to what was going on, and I realized I was leaning way out from my ladder, and if this last bolt would have released the ceiling fan would have dropped the weight into my hands. It could have knocked me off the ladder. And I didn't really realize that until I stopped to think about it, but that's why I didn't want to take the ceiling fan down. You know, it's kind of like this guy here. If you've ever seen this video of the guy that you're seeing on your screen right now, he's not centered on his ladder. In fact, his buddy down there at the bottom of the screen is holding the ladder. It's not on the floor. And as soon as this ceiling fan breaks loose, this dude is in for a tumble. He's actually going to go not just off his ladder, but over the railing and down to the first floor of his house. I'm pretty sure he's okay. I hope he's okay. In the video, they were laughing about it, including the guy who fell, so I assume he was fine. But, you know, I didn't want to make that happen to me. I was not centered. I was not ready to take that fan down. Now, these folks over here, you can see, are quite centered. The lady on the left is standing on the correct rung of her ladder. She's working confidently on the fan. The family on the right, they're working together to take that thing down. You can see they've almost got it loose. It looks like they still have to cut the wire. We got husband and wife there, or man and woman working together to get that thing down safely. And, you know, that's the way to do it. You don't want to be the guy that's about to fall off the ladder. You want to be the people that are centered underneath the fan, and then it's a very, very easy job to do. And in your business and promoting your business, when you're centered, you're focused on your passion. Sorry, I think I went backwards there. I apologize. You're focused on your passion. You're in touch with what makes you proud about what you do. You know what you have to offer others, and you can articulate it. You have confidence. You're naturally authentic because you're in the zone, as they say. And you're very attractive to your customers because you're coming from a place of the heart. So when you're centered in what makes you proud, in how you help others, and you're authentic about it, that's what's called being centered. Now, this guy that you're seeing on your screen right now, he seems pretty comfortable and confident. He's standing on top of his ladder, and hopefully not going to fall. He's standing on the very, very top rung and just working away. It looks like he's got his weight bearing down on the fan. He's like using the fan to hold himself up. So this guy has really no reason to be confident. He feels like he's centered, but he's doing everything wrong. And that's where we get salespeople like this guy right here. And this is exactly what we try not to be in business. I think this is kind of the salesperson that gives us all a bad name. This is what, when people are afraid of being salesy, it's this guy that they're trying not to be. And when you're not centered, there are some common challenges that people run into. The first one is that they undervalue their worth. They don't charge enough for their services. They don't feel comfortable asking people for their business. They have call reluctance, meaning the phone is way outside their comfort zone. They're afraid of sounding salesy. You know, they let the stereotype of that cheesy salesperson I just showed you affect how they feel people are going to feel about them. And they fear that their limited business or sales background is going to hold them back. Like they don't know what to say, or they don't have the right sales process or something like this. And what this all boils down to is they're just outside their comfort zone. And as everybody knows, magic doesn't happen in the comfort zone. The magic happens out here, like you see in the picture on your screen. But the good news is, you guys have all heard the myth that 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 2 years. That's not true. That's not true at all. In fact, if you can read the numbers on the chart, I don't know how big of a screen you're seeing this on, but the chart here is showing you that 55% of businesses are actually succeeding into their 5th and 6th year of business. And the graph even kind of flattens out as it goes to where 30% of businesses last past their 10th year. This is actually failure rates you're seeing on the screen, so the numbers are getting bigger as the years go bigger. These are the businesses that fail. But the good news is more than half of businesses last into their 5th and 6th year. And the reason that that's happening these days, rather than 9 out of 10 failing almost right away, is that good information is easy to find online. And not only that, but the 50% of businesses that succeed, They know where to get help, they know when to ask for it, and they're comfortable looking for somebody to give them that boost up to get to that next breakthrough that they need in their business. And for those that don't, these are the main reasons that they list as failure. And if you can see the numbers at the bottom of the screen here, you can tell they don't add up to 100%. The reason for that is some businesses listed more than one of these reasons as the cause of their failure. That's why this total is way over 100%, probably closer to 200%. But for those who are watching this on a smaller screen, 82% of businesses cite cash flow problems, 42% market demand, 29% blame the fact that they ran out of cash, 23% say they had the wrong team around them, and then 19% say it was competition that knocked them out of business. And what that all boils down to is failure to properly promote your business. Either that, or I think we've all seen this picture in some iteration or other before, they quit right before they struck gold, or in this case, struck diamonds. And as you can see in the picture here, the guy's just inches away from digging his tunnel to the diamonds, and he's given up, and he's kind of downtrodden there with his pick over his shoulder, while the other guy is full of steam, just hammering away. He's getting ready to discover the diamonds right over the top of him. And there's a mentor of mine by the name of Bo Eason. I talked about a lot of the good information that's available out there. If you have a chance to go find Bo Eason, man, he is a very motivational individual. I love the things that he does. It really excites me to watch Bo's material. And one of the things that he says is that once you have a dream and a clear path on how you want to achieve it, there are only two possible outcomes that can happen. You achieve your dream, or you quit on your dream. The only way out of your dreams is if you quit. So that's good news, right? Especially if you're a glass half full type of person. So in business, let's talk about what separates the successful 50% from the not so successful 50%. In business, it's execution. And execution means revenue. Revenue comes from, of course, customers, gaining customers. So how do we gain customers and sell without being salesy? Well, the first thing, as we already talked about, is authenticity, selling from the heart. Focus on your passion and your pride. Think about what makes you excited to come to work every day. Think about what caused you to go out there and start this business, the vision you had for what you were bringing to the world, to the people that you help, to the folks that you come into contact with. Make it about them, not about you. You don't want to be reaching out to somebody. You don't want to be at a networking event. You don't want to be talking to somebody about how great you are. Promoting yourself is really, it's a bad way to say that. You're really not promoting yourself. What you're doing is, if you're doing it right, learning about the people that you feel you can help and finding specifically what you can do to help them, and then articulating it in a way that comes from the heart. You do that by getting centered. You embrace the non-salesiness in you. That's one thing in working with people over years and years and years that I found is that a lot of folks feel you have to be polished. You have to have a slick script. You have to be spot on, sharp, always on your game if you're going to be successful at promoting your business. And that just isn't true. Because when you do that, you come off as a used car salesman, as they say, like this guy right here that you're seeing on your screen. I mean, who wants to buy from this guy? Hey, how you doing? My product is really great. No, I don't. I don't think you do either. And when you're trying to be polished and you're trying to sound polished over the phone, or you're trying to sound polished in a networking situation or something like that, you come off as inauthentic. You come off as this guy on your screen. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather, instead of buying from this guy, I want to buy from this salesperson. I want to buy from somebody who I feel is an authentic person, somebody that I know has a life outside of what they're doing, a bigger purpose. In this case, as you can see, it's probably the salesperson's family. So let's talk about the 3 ways that you can gain customers. The first one is you go out and get it. And that includes things like selling efforts that you might do proactively on your own. The second way that you gain customers is by somebody bringing them to you. Those are usually referral partners, but there's a lot of ways, and we'll dig into that a little bit more deeply here in just a bit. Or your customers find you on their own through advertising and marketing. There's tons and tons of ways that you can make it easy for customers to find you, and we're going to hit on a couple of the best ones here in just a little bit. So let's talk real quickly about how you can go out and get business on your own. You can use the phone. And I know when I begin talking about cold calling, immediately people start to get a little bit of a tightness in their chest, or you're starting to think, oh, I'm out, not on cold calling. You said you were going to do 5. I can't wait to hear the other 4 because I'm not doing this one. Well, this is actually the most effective one in terms of being able to get your message across to the people that you want to get it across to in the way that you want to get it across to them, because you are doing it. You can target businesses. We'll talk a lot more about this in just a minute here, but using the phone is one of the best ways you go out and get it. Also, prospecting in person. I mentioned going door to door through buildings. That's a good one. Going to conferences and trade shows, networking events, and of course you can hire a sales team to do it for you. Number 2 was someone brings it to you, and we're talking about referrals that can come from your customers. Your satisfied customers may send leads your way or may tell people to call you. Business partners could be out there selling for you. You might have business partners that refer business to you. You could have friends and family that refer business to you, or you could hire an outside third party to sell for you, and there's lots of other ways that somebody could bring business to you. And the third way that businesses come into your world, excuse me, is they find you on their own through traditional advertising like radio, TV, billboards. They might find your website. There's places like Angie's List and other third-party websites where people can go to find vendors, so they may find you there. You may have a web presence as a valued expert on LinkedIn or YouTube. You may have done a TEDx talk. There's places like Creative Live and online training resources that are always hiring folks to come in and be trainers. And once you get that type of expert awareness, that type of expert role with somebody, they're going to want to learn more about you. Or you might do some online marketing and social media marketing, things like lead magnets. And we're going to talk about that in detail here in just a minute. So again, on the screen, just for a refresher, here are the 3 ways that customers find you and some of the ways that that might happen. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little dry, as I think you could tell. So the 5 we're going to touch on today are these. We're going to touch on using the phone, as I've already said. We're going to talk about networking events. We're going to talk about getting a referral referral network of business partners that refer business to you, having a web presence as a valued expert, and then online marketing and social media using lead magnets and things of that nature. So let's get this first one going. And as I said, I know this isn't for everybody. I hope that you will keep an open mind on this, because I think by the time I'm done, you'll feel that this may be something that's right for you. So one of the best ways you can go out and get business is to use the phone. And I know that that's a scary prospect for a lot of people. So I've come up with these 5 steps for overcoming call reluctance. It's something that I've coached, especially to folks that are new to cold calling, new to picking up the phone and calling people who aren't expecting their call. The first step to overcoming that call reluctance, that sort of fear that you get, is accept that nervousness is natural, that fear is natural. It's your body's way of heightening your performance. So use it. You get a mental clarity that comes from that. You get an awakeness. You get a sense of like purpose. It's almost like a fight or flight thing. And it doesn't always feel real good at the beginning, but as you start to use it and turn it into momentum, it can be very, very powerful and can really help you. Remember to focus on what makes you proud and how you help others. Focus on what makes you proud of what you do and the value that you bring to others. And if you can get really centered on why you make other people's lives better, then why not pick up the phone and reach out and help some people? You can really change your focus in terms of what the phone is doing for you there. Step 3, throw away the script. You know, we talked about the used car salesman, the slick sales guy. You don't want to have a script. You don't want to be reading from a script. You don't want to sound mechanical. Even if you're good at it, you don't want to really, the person you're calling doesn't want to feel like they're the 53rd business you've called on the way to calling 200 today. Without a script, you're going to sound authentic. Authenticity is the key to all of this. You're going to sound authentic even if you're bumbling and stumbling a little bit, because that's how people talk. And when you're talking to people the way that people talk to them, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable talking to you. So get rid of the idea that you need to have this polished script or any script at all. Throw away the script and be yourself. However, know how you're going to open the conversation. So, you know, you don't want to start the call with, hey, how's the weather today? you want to get to the point. You want to know how you're going to open that conversation, but that's really only having a opening line, or start just like you would any place, starting a conversation with somebody and then letting the conversation occur naturally. So rather than a script, just get focused on what makes you proud and how you help others, and just start a conversation about that with the person that you're calling. And then remember, like I said at the beginning, momentum is the key. Your energy and your focus are going to grow with each call within the session. So as you make that first call, it happens to me all the time. I'm not really feeling it when I first step up to my desk. I'm thinking, God, I don't know. I don't really feel like making calls today. But I'll sort of force myself to do it. I'll go through this process and start thinking about how I help people and how I'm going to help people overcome fears of selling and grow their business and achieve the dreams that they had for their business. And when I really think about how I help people, it's easy to pick up the phone and make those first couple calls. And once you've made a couple, now you've talked with some people and your energy starts to get rolling. That was probably really loud because I'm right in front of my microphone there. I apologize. I get passionate, as you can tell. But as you start to make those calls, your momentum is going to grow, and your energy is going to grow, and your focus and your excitement, and other people are going to pick up on that when you call them. So these are the 4 steps that you want to take to go ahead and get started on using the phone to prospect, if that's something you want to do. The first one is, like I said, just start a conversation and see where it goes. Remember that 90% of the people you call are going to be unavailable or disinterested anyway. So if you make 10 calls, 9 out of 10, the people aren't going to want to talk to you. You're calling them at a bad time, or they're not in, or you're leaving a message or something like that. But here's an important perspective on that. That also means that you can probably make 10 calls to get 1 interested customer. For some people, that number's a little different. It might be 15 calls for some people. It might be 5 or 6 calls for somebody else. Depending on what you do and who you're calling, that number's going to change a little bit. But for most people in most businesses, if you pick up the phone and make 10 calls, you're going to get 1 customer that's interested in talking with you about what you do and talking about your business. And that's somebody you can set an appointment with to grow your business. It's easy to do. All you have to do is get started. Remember, you're calling to set an appointment, not to make a sale. When somebody expresses an interest in you and what you're saying, remember, you interrupted them in the middle of something else. This is not the prime time to be trying to sell something to them. In fact, it's rude. So remember, you've interrupted somebody. All you want to do is set a time when they're not in the middle of something else, where you can sit down together or over the phone, make a phone call or whatever is appropriate for you, and discuss your offering, discuss what you do, discuss how you help them. It's different for everybody that's on this call, but you're setting up a time later to talk to this person. Even, by the way, if they're ready to talk to you now. If somebody says to me, hey, Mike, that's awesome. Sales coaching, that's something I can really use, because I know I need to do this. I know I need to promote my business. I'm a one-man shop here. It's up to me, and I'm not naturally a sales guy, and I do struggle a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you do. My response to that person is going to be, hey, I'm excited that you want to hear more about this, and I really look forward to talking to you more about this. And I know obviously you were in the middle of something else when I called. What I'd really like to do is set up some time where we can come and sit down for 30 minutes or an hour. I can learn a little bit about your business and about what's worked for you and what's not worked for you. I want to hear a little bit more about what you have in mind in terms of what you'd like to learn and get better at and strengthen. And then we can really dig into it at that time. Does that sound fair? Most people are going to say yes. So I'm available Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. If you'd like to get together, I can come see you, or I can just give you a call, whatever works best for you. So remember, even if somebody's ready to be sold to on the phone, you don't want to do it. You're calling to set an appointment. That's all you're calling to do. Remember that momentum is your key. Your energy and your focus grow with each call and with each session, just like I said before. So these are the 4 things you're going to do to get started. So go out there, pick 100 target customers who you feel you can help. I use a tool called Reference USA. It's a fantastic tool. It's available through your public library. You can go in and target customers by what business they're in, what business size they're in, how many employees they have, what their revenue is, their geography. There's all kinds of ways that you can really narrow the scope to pick the perfect customer, the perfect business type that you are really able to help. So begin by picking 100, cherry pick 100 businesses that you feel that you can help. Get those together on a list. Next thing is do a few minutes, and I mean just a couple minutes, of basic research on each of them. Learn what they do. Learn, if you can, Reference USA will tell you who owns the business. Find out the basics on that. You might do a quick Google search just to see if there was some recent news on them that you can mention. The reason you're going to do this is because you want, like I said before, you want that customer to feel, you want the business to feel like you know something about them. You're calling them for a reason. You're calling them. They don't want to feel like you're calling a bunch of people. So know a little bit about them when you call, but resist the urge to over-research. That scale can tip way to the other side, where I've seen people spend 20 and 30 minutes researching a company and then they call just to find out the company's out of business. Or like I said, 9 out of 10 aren't going to be interested. So you're going to spend 4.5 hours researching customers that aren't interested at all. So remember, only a few minutes rather than 20 or 30 minutes. Find a CRM, a customer relationship management program, and automate the follow-up cycle. The thing about phone prospecting and reaching out to customers by phone, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to reach them. You're going to end up leaving a message. You're going to have to call them back 2 and 3 and 4 times. So you need a computer program where you can enter your leads and keep track of when it's time to call them back. Some people just use a spreadsheet. I've seen people do that with success. Professional CRM programs like Salesforce.com or Pipedrive or Zoho and some others range anywhere from free to very expensive, and they can help you really track your progress. It can actually, one of the great things about these programs is over time you learn how many calls it takes you to get an appointment, how many appointments you have to run in order to get a sale, and you kind of get this equation that works every time, like a recipe for baking a cake. You put the same ingredients into the cake and bake it at the same temperature every time. You get pretty much the same thing out every time. And that works with phone prospecting too. And once you know your numbers, it makes it very easy to plan your work. These programs will help you do that. And then finally, as I think I got ahead of myself there, just pay attention to your equation for converting calls to business and use that to guide your numbers and work your plan in terms of how many calls you need to make a week, what types of customers you need to call, and things of that nature. All right, so the second way that you go out and get business that we talked about is networking. I want to share with you something here real quickly. I don't know if you can read this on your screen. If you're looking at this on your phone or something like that, it may be hard, but the quote is, it's Albert Einstein in 1932 saying, "There's not the slightest indication that nuclear energy will ever be obtainable." Well, he was wrong. And the reason I wanted to put that quote up there is that there's a lot of myths out there that guide people's feelings in terms of how they promote their business or why they do or don't or how they go about doing it. And I'd like to take just a minute to talk about one of the myths around networking and some of the facts that actually are true. So the myth is that you have to be an extrovert or an A-type to be good at networking. And the truth is, the reality is, most people are not. I am not. I'm an introvert. And going to networking events is something that really took work at first. You talk about fear, you talk about your heart pounding. Walking into a room full of what I thought was going to be these A-type personalities, having to pretend that I was really terrifying for me when I first started doing it. But the reality is most people are not extroverted A-types in their room. They're shy, they're unsure. And the great thing, the other reality is, this makes starting conversations with people very easy, even for introverts. So remember, if you're going to go to a networking event, your goal is to meet people with common interests. You want to be authentic. I mean, if you're shy, be shy. If you're energetic, be energetic. If you're new to networking, fine, own that and be new to networking. There's nothing wrong with that. There's people in the room from all walks of life and all personality types. Almost everybody is there. Everybody there is somewhat uncomfortable too. You know, you've got the wallflowers that you'll see standing around, not really talking to anybody, kind of along the perimeters of the event. Those people are really going to appreciate you walking up to them and saying hello. And it's very easy to start a conversation in that situation. And you're going to have the seasoned pros too, the people that are always standing in a group of people, or the people that are going to come up and engage you. And those seasoned professionals that are the A-type, the high energy, the folks that love networking, to me that's foreign to love networking, but I know a lot of people do, probably a lot of you do. But that seasoned pro is going to make it easy for you too. They're going to come up, they're going to start the conversation, they're going to make the conversation easy, and you can actually learn a lot from talking to somebody like that. And another thing that is good to do is meet the organizers of the event, learn their vision for the group. Find out if you might be a good speaker, an appropriate speaker for them. How great would that be to be speaking in front of a group, a networking group like this, where you can instantly get that expert authority with folks. You're going to gain a lot of business. I know that's outside of a lot of people's comfort zone. If that's not for you, that's okay. But if you are somebody who is open to public speaking and presenting for a group like this, this can be a great way to get in front of a group and get a lot of business. But finally, remember, you're there to make contacts. You're not there to make sales. You're not there to set appointments. Talk about not being salesy. It's not good to be salesy at a networking event. Have good, fun conversations with people. Learn who they are. Make it about them, like we talked about before. Be authentic. Gather some business cards. Make some contacts with people that you feel that you might want to work with, somebody you feel you can help, or somebody that might help you, or somebody that you can refer business to, or they might refer back to you, or maybe you just enjoyed somebody's company. They're in the same line of work, or they have some of the same challenges as you do. It's great to meet those people. Gather their business cards, follow up the next day, and that's when you can set appointments and things like that. It's really kind of taboo to try to sell something or make appointments at these networking events anyway, so hey, the pressure's off there. All right, so if you're going to go out and get business by networking, here's the 4 things I want you to do. Number 1 is find one networking event per month to attend. There's tons of them in your area. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on local event calendars. Find at least one event per month and commit to attending it. Find 10 networking groups in your area and research the presenters that they have featured in the past. Look at what their what their past invites have looked like in terms of who the speakers are and what the subject matter and the topics were for that event. And if the topics look like something that you do and you're open to public speaking, reach out to them and see if they might be looking for you. It's probably better to go to their event first and talk to them in person, but if reaching out to them separately is your thing, then do that. Then call a few key customers and business associates and ask them for recommendations on groups that they feel it might be good to go out and see, networking events that you might want to attend, or chamber events that might be good. And then a great way to do that, this is sort of a newer thing now, it's evolved within the past few years, is locating co-working spaces in your area. The co-working spaces where people go to rent an office for the day or a conference room for the day, they're always having networking events. They're always looking for valuable things that they can do as a bonus to the people that come there. They want to attract people to their co-working space to look at how cool it is, and they do that by having speakers and presenters. So locate some co-working spaces in your area, either for you to present at, or you go to the presentations and interact with the other people that are there to see it. Networking events can be very, very powerful. It's a great stepping stone to a lot of these other areas that we're talking about. All right, let's move forward to part 2. So remember, the first one is you go out and get it. The second way customers come to you is someone brings them to you. What I want to talk about are partners, referral partners. And I want to talk about myths again associated with referral partners. And this quote was one that I really found amusing. The world potential for the world potential market for copying machines is 5,000 at the most. At the most, there's room for 5,000. There's a market for 5,000 copiers in the whole world. This is IBM talking to the founders of Xerox in 1959. They weren't exactly accurate about that. And this myth about referral partners isn't exactly accurate either. The myth is good referral partners are hard to find. And the fact is, the reality is, referral partners are easy to find. There's many, many businesses out there that are actively seeking referral partnerships. They go out and look for them on their own, or they're hoping somebody will call them in hopes of partnering up. The other reality is you already know people who can recommend good ones to you. One of the best ways that I would get referral partners, we're going to touch on it here in just a minute, is a very specific method I use by asking other people who's good. You'll see it here in just a second. So someone brings them to you, referral partners. This brings business to you while you're focusing on other things. This is why this is so valuable. This is a way that business comes to you while you're off doing something else. Either you're off executing on your business, if you're an accountant, you're off accounting, or you're promoting your business, or whatever it is that you do when you're not promoting your business. This is what these guys do. They bring business to you. So even if you are promoting, they're doing it too. It requires reciprocity, so be ready to refer business first. Make sure you make deposits that exceed your withdrawals. I think everybody's heard that metaphor before, but it does require reciprocity. You don't want to call somebody, you don't want to meet somebody and say, hey, I was thinking you would be a great person to bring business to me. That's not really going to work, as you could guess. So you want to start that relationship by saying, hey, I'd like to learn what your ideal customer looks like. What if I meet somebody that I should be thinking would be a good customer for you, what's your ideal customer look like? How do I identify that person? So be ready for the reciprocity. Remember, most businesses prefer referrals rather than money. So rather than telling people, hey, I'll pay you $50 or $100 or $1,000 for every referral you give me, remember that most businesses get a lot more from referrals than from money. So they'll be interested in a situation where you can bring them business while they're bringing you business. And in fact, a lot of businesses and salespeople are prohibited from accepting money or gifts for referrals. So that could be just a barrier that you run into anyway. So if you're going to go out and get referral partners, here's what I want you to do. Pick 25 businesses that have services which complement yours. When I was in telecommunications, I would reach out to people that sold phone systems. I would reach out to people that were IT vendors. I would reach out to people that were electricians and did things with businesses that were very complementary to what I did. Don't overlook your competitors. You're always going to meet customers who may not be a right fit for you, but they might be a perfect fit for a competitor. So as strange as this may sound, you can actually benefit by strengthening your competition. If you meet a customer that isn't a fit for you, you call a competitor and say, hey man, I've got this customer, I'm not going to be able to help them, but I think they're perfect for you, man. Here's the number, here's where you get them. They're going to really appreciate that. And chances are they're going to reciprocate when they meet a customer that's right for you. Research referral partners, those 25 that you've picked, and reach out to them. I told you I had a system that I used that was very successful for me. I'm looking at it on the screen here. It looks like it's kind of small, so I'll go into it in detail in case you can't see it. But ask customers who their best vendors are and call those vendors. And so what you're seeing on the screen here is a script that I use. So if it's too small, remember, you can download that. Go to michaelbranton.com/5waysdeck. I'll show you the link here at the end again. But the script is something like this. So I've called a customer. Let's say I'm in my telecom world and I'm meeting with a customer. I say, hey, do you mind if I ask you, who are the vendors that you really like the best? Who's doing the best job for you around here? You'll find customers are usually they've got one or two right at the top of their mind that they're going to say, oh God, it's definitely Jeff. He's our phone system vendor. That guy is awesome. If we need something, he's on top of it. He makes recommendations that we didn't even know we needed. You talk about a valuable business partner. This guy, Jeff, he's awesome. So if you're looking for somebody that's good, call Jeff. So I'm probably going to then pick up the phone and call and say, hey, Jeff, I'm calling you because I was speaking with Tom over at Lewyt Corp. And he said, you guys are doing an awesome job with their phone systems. Listen, I run into people all the time that are looking for some phone system work, and I'm wondering if you're accepting new customers. As you can probably imagine, that works pretty well because people always like when somebody calls them and says, hey man, you're awesome. Your customer told me you are awesome. You're doing a great job over there. Think about that. If somebody called you like that, that's going to pump you up. People love that. And then I'm going to follow that up with, I have people all the time that are looking for phone system work. Are you accepting new customers? Of course, this guy's accepting new customers. So yeah, he's going to say, yes, I definitely am. And that gives me an opportunity to say, okay, well, you know, if I was looking for the right customer for you, what does that look like? What do you specialize in? You get them talking about themselves, get them talking about their business. Along the way, they are going to say, hey, what do you do? How do I find customers? I really appreciate this. How do I find customers for you? It gives you the opportunity to say, oh, well, you know, I'm a sales coach. And if you happen to interact with customers out there, of course, you're not all sales coaches, but whatever it is you do, when I was in telecommunications, I would say, well, you know, I work for blah, blah, blah company. We sell voice and data systems. So you probably run into a lot of customers that are not satisfied with the carrier that they're using, or they're getting to a point where they're going to do some shopping and they don't know who to call. I'd appreciate it if you could throw some of my cards around to some of those people too. Why don't we get together for coffee or something like that? We can exchange business cards. I'll give you a stack of mine. I'll pick up a stack of yours, and we can kick this thing off. That is the best way to get business partners. That's the best way to get referral partners. I highly suggest you steal that process, because in 25 years of doing this, I've never found anything more effective than what I just described to you. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you'll find some value in that and use it. But for the meantime, we're going to move on to online marketing. So we talked about the 3 ways customers come into your business. You go out and get them. They find, people bring them to you, or the 3rd way is they find you, and that's what we're going to talk about now, online marketing. This one is one that is a little outside the comfort zone for a lot of people. They feel like it's hard. They feel like it's expensive. They feel like it's scary. The quote I have on the screen right now, I picked this one from Byte magazine editor Edmund De Jesus back in 1998. His quote was, "Y2K is a crisis without precedent in human history." Well, as we all know, a lot of people felt that way back in 1998 and 1999, and as Y2K approached, we all imagined the power grids shutting down and airplanes falling out of the sky and just everything, computers locked up, financial systems crumbling. Well, none of that happened. And this myth about online marketing being hard isn't true either. Online marketing seems hard if you've never tried it. It's one of these things that looks hard on the outside, but it's very easy once you start. And the reason for that is the reality that you can learn what you need to know to do online marketing for your business in a matter of hours. I could teach you that in a matter of a couple of sessions. You could go out online and get it, and that's reality number 2. This subject has more free training content online than almost any other topic that's out there. So you can learn in just a couple of hours for free pretty much everything you need to know to market your business online. The other myth I want to share with you, and we're going to start with another quote here, is, and I love this one, "Nuclear-powered vacuum cleaners will probably be a reality in 10 years. Nuclear-powered vacuum cleaners will be a reality in 10 years, said Alex Lewyt, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, president of the Lewyt Corp in 1995. So this Alex guy was president of a vacuum cleaner company in 1995, and his prediction was nuclear-powered vacuum cleaners are probably going to be a reality by 1965. Well, as we know, that wasn't true. And it's also not true that online marketing is expensive. In fact, the reality is you can do online marketing yourself for very little money. So if you're thinking of the expense of somebody doing it for you, getting a website developer, getting a marketing guy, an advertising guru, you don't have to do any of that. You can do it yourself for very little money. I do all of mine myself. I learned it all on my own. Believe me, I'm no genius. If I can do it, you can do it. The other thing about online marketing being inexpensive is advertising is very inexpensive as well. For $10 a day on Facebook, I get 5,000 exposures. So if I wanted to advertise, in this case, what I'm talking about was when I was advertising an online program that I had that helps people get hired in leadership. I was marketing it on Facebook to 5,000 people a day for 10 bucks. My weekly budget was $70. I was getting 35,000 exposures a day. That's something almost anybody can afford. 10 bucks a day is nothing. In fact, if after 3 or 4 days at $10 a day, you're not getting the results you're looking for, you can stop it. You don't have to commit to like an ongoing month-long thing. It's not like you put up 300 bucks up front to do 30 days at $10 a day. You can do $10 for 1 day and stop. So it's very customized, it's very catered, it's very inexpensive. So let's talk a little bit more about it in detail. So online marketing usually involves lead magnets. And lead magnets are what they are is they are free online downloads that you give to people in exchange for their contact information. So for instance, if you are watching the replay here, chances are you may have gone to a page that talked about this replay and gave you an invite. You put your email in and it gave you some information. We emailed you everything you needed to know on how to get to this replay, and I appreciate you being here. That process you went through was a lead magnet. That's what a lead magnet is called. Other things that you might find on lead magnet are just very simple, usually 1 or 2 page documents that are things like checklists or lists of links that people might use, resource guides, short little ebooks, a webinar like you're watching here. A couple examples that I found out there when I was putting this together were a page that somebody had that said 3 tax rules for 2018 that business owners must know. So talking about the changes that have taken place in Congress for small and medium businesses, pass-through organizations. So the things that are changing in 2018 for the 2019 tax year. So 3 tax rules for 2018 that all business owners must know. Or another example was, have you been hacked? Here's 5 things to check right now. So basically, as you can see, somebody's putting something out there that is going to be of interest to people, giving them a place to click to download it, and in exchange, they get somebody's email address or whatever it might be. They automate the delivery process. You don't have to actually physically send this to anybody. I use MailChimp, and I use a WordPress plugin that when you go to my website, for instance, let's say you go sign up for the hour of free coaching. That's an automated process. I'm not over here typing anything. You go in and you go to a form and it takes your information and I'll reach out to you to follow up from there. Or if you choose to download the slides, you'll go to a page that says, hey, show me what email address you want me to send your slides to. So you put your email address in there. It's going to send you the presentation deck from today, and it's all automated. I don't do anything. I've got MailChimp set up right now so that you can go in there, you put your email address in, it'll send you what you want to send. In fact, if you want to opt out, unsubscribe right afterwards, that's all automated. Very simple and automated process. So if you're going to do this, remember, promoting a lead magnet is something you want to promote on your website. It's something you might put out in social media. So when I'm doing articles on LinkedIn or when I'm putting information out on social media, I've always got a link to one of my lead magnets so people can click on it, go right to my website and sign up for information. You can do it through paid advertisements on Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest or something like that. You can choose if you want to follow up with customers personally. Like, for instance, if you sign up for the free hour of coaching, of course, I'm going to personally call you and thank you and confirm and talk about when we want to do this. Or if you want to do it through an automated email process, like I do with my MailChimp process, where it just automatically sends you the information you're going to send without me having to do anything other than setting it up the first time. Could cost as little as $5 a day. I spend 10, but I could spend 5. You could spend 5. You could spend more if you want to. It's very, very, very easy to set up and manage, and it lets you target specific demographics and groups of customers. So if I want to market my sales coaching to only business owners who sell accounting software, I can go in there and pull just the customers who are accountants and business owners, or I can target it by certain magazines that they subscribe to or things that they've liked on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media platform you happen to be on. It's cool. It lets you really, really, really zero in. I talked about my 35,000 exposures a week. Those weren't just exposures to just anybody. In that situation, remember, I was selling a program that helps people get hired into leadership. So I was targeting people who were actively looking for jobs, who were on theladders.com or who were on glassdoor.com or who were on other hiring sites, and going right to the people who are actively looking for a job. 35,000 exposures in front of people that are actively looking for a job for $10 a day. It's great. All right, so to get started, research the frequently asked questions from your target market. This is important because if you're going to put a lead magnet together that's valuable, you need to know what's of value to your target market, meaning you need to know what questions they're asking. So the way that I tend to do this is you can go to Google and just begin typing a search string, and it fills out the rest for you. You can see on the screen here, if I type how to, it's showing me the most common things that people are searching right now on Google, including how to boil eggs, how to tie a tie, how to draw a rose, how to get a passport, how to make slime. It's all over the place. Also, if you can see on the screen, there are little numbers after each of these search terms on the screen. What it's showing me is how many people a month look up each of these and what it's going to cost to advertise to the people that are looking it up. So in this case, how to make slime is being actively looked up by 823,000 people a month, believe it or not. I would guess probably kids, I don't know. And advertisers are paying between 11 cents and 65 cents a click for people who are researching how to make slime. Now you can choose if you're going to advertise to the people that are actively looking up how to make slime, or if you want to have a online video about the best slime that you can make. Click here for a great slime recipe, free slime recipe. People click right into your thing. You can do that for free. People are coming to you. You find the slime lovers out there, and you can market your slime to the slime lovers or whatever it is that you do. So that's a great way to find out what your people are talking about. Another way to do it is to go to YouTube, and you can do the same thing. So in this example, I've typed cold call, and you can see the things that people are most looking for on YouTube. Cold calling techniques that work, cold calling real estate, cold calling by Grant Cardone. He's a guru in cold calling sales techniques. So all these different things are things that people are looking up. And what I'm looking for here, you can see I've got one that's highlighted in green. Here's one, cold calling real estate. So if I want to make a video that is going to get seen by people, and I want it to be seen by high-value customers, believe it or not, I don't want to look for something that millions of people are looking for, because I'm going to be competing with millions of videos. If I look for a little niche thing, like in this case, cold calling real estate, only 320 people a month are looking up cold calling real estate, and advertisers are paying up to $7.60 per click, not per sale, per click on this thing. Now, obviously, I'm not going to pay $7.60 per click, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take note of the fact that a very high value market, a very high value target market here is looking up how to cold call real estate. I'm going to make a free video on how to cold call real estate, put it on YouTube, and now my YouTube video, instead of competing with millions of other videos, is really just competing with maybe thousands of other videos. It's still a lot, but this is how you research what your customers are talking about. All right, so second step, if you're going to do this, if you're going to put a lead magnet out there and do some online marketing, research the facts was one. Number two, remember YouTube is a great source for research. So was Google, of course. Go get a free MailChimp account and set up a simple thank you email so that when somebody signs up for your lead magnet, automatically it'll send out that thank you email. Again, very easy to do. You can go to MailChimp and watch a little 5-minute tutorial on it. It's really, really simple to do. Build a document, find something that people are going to want to get. If you're an accountant, think about the new tax rules for 2019 for small businesses. That's a great place to start. So put a document like that together that they can get when they opt in, and then you build the opt-in page. It's really simple. MailChimp, as a matter of fact, has some you can use. There's free plugins for WordPress. There's plenty of paid content templates out there from places like ClickFunnels and Lead Pages. I'm not going to get into this because we're getting pretty deep in the weeds here now, and we've got just another about 5 or 6 minutes left. I want to make sure we cover our last piece here, but there's lots of places you can go to get this process started. Remember, it's not as hard as you think. Facebook and YouTube have plenty of free videos on how to do advertising on your own online. You can tweak your offer and budget as you go based on the success that you're having. Look for experts out there who have free training on this. There's tons of it. You talk about YouTube, go to YouTube and look up how to make a good lead magnet, and you'll find tons of free content about it. And by the way, like I said before, I'm good at this too. I can help you if you want to sign up for the free 1 hour of coaching. We can talk about this, and I can really get you started for free on your own with a one-on-one coaching session together. And if you want to continue working together, we can do that. But in just the 1 hour, I think we can get pretty far. Also, in addition to that, Digital Marketer is a place that I find a lot of value from. They have a $1 30-day trial, which has all their training videos out there. It's like hundreds of hours of training. Obviously, you're not going to take it all, but you can go find what appeals to you and train on that. And then remember, YouTube is a great place to do that as well. You can go and get, obviously, YouTube videos are free. You can get tons of free videos on YouTube. Trust the expert knowledge that's out there. Trust me, this is something you want to do. Whether you're going to do any of these other things or not, online marketing is what you want to do. And having an online expert presence is another way to do this. And this is the 5th of the 5 now. Just a few minutes to go. I promise we're going to stop on time here. So the 5th one, have an online expert presence. Here's our myth quote for this one. There is no chance the iPhone is going to get any significant market share. No chance, said Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer in 2007. Well, it wasn't exactly right about that. And it's not exactly right to think that you have to be a guru to be an online expert. It's a myth that a lot of people have. They think, oh, I'm not a guru in anything. How am I going to be an online expert? Well, the reality is, whatever you do, there's thousands, maybe millions of people out there who want the knowledge you have right now. No matter what it is you do, origami, accounting, attorneys, painters, whatever. Whatever you do, there's thousands of people who want to know what you know. And that's why you can be an online guru, an online expert, really simply. The second reality I want to share with you is that most expert knowledge that's out there online comes from regular people like you and me, just doing the things that they do on a daily basis. I'm doing this right now. You're watching me because I have a passion about sales coaching, not because I'm good at webinars, as you may have noticed, not because I'm any guru in terms of technology or anything like that. I'm passionate about sales coaching, and this is how I reach people that I can help. And same for you. Whatever it is you do, there's thousands of people that want to see it, and just being a regular person doing your regular thing is all you need to do to be an expert out there. You can go to places like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and plenty of others to put your information out there for free. You can do podcasts, you can do videos, you can create your own web page. I've done videos and web pages as my choices. You can be a guest on other people's podcasts, guest on live training events like we talked about before. Find discussion groups out there that target specific niches. Again, if you're an accountant, you go out there and some of the discussion groups that are on LinkedIn and online where people are asking about what are the new changes for the pass-through organization? What's this 20% they talk about? I'd like to know that too. So go out there where people are talking about that and contribute to those conversations, and then people will see you as an expert and go find your stuff. You want to create posts and content at least weekly. Now we're into the 4 things you're going to do to be an online expert. Number 1, create posts and content at least weekly. Some experts say multiple times a day. That's a little much for me. I do it at least weekly. That's enough for me. Some folks do it many, many, many times a day. That's completely up to you and your particular taste. Always link to your web page and your lead magnet and so forth. If I'm putting an article on LinkedIn, you can bet there's going to be information on the bottom of the page saying how to get to my web page, how to get my free coaching. If I'm giving advice on how to do something, I'll say, hey, for a great tool on this, click right here. You can get this tool for free on my website. Your free content that you put out there should always be among the best advice you can give. A lot of times people are reluctant to give their best advice for free. They think, oh my God, if I give all my best stuff for free, what am I going to sell? What am I going to do for money? Well, the fact is, people see your best advice out there for free. They're going to think, oh my God, this person is awesome. Look at all this free stuff he's giving. I can't imagine what the paid stuff must be like. You've got plenty of value. You don't have to worry about diluting your value by putting your best stuff out there for free. Just do it. It's how you're going to get customers. Use one outlet to drive clicks to your other outlet. So when I put something on LinkedIn, I also go out on Facebook and say, hey, go check out my latest article on, I think the last one I did was actually the call reluctance thing on how to overcome call reluctance. And I'll find that as I look at where people are coming from, a huge portion of my audience is actually coming from the post that I put out there on Facebook that brings them to the LinkedIn. So some folks find it on LinkedIn, but a ton of folks are also finding it on Facebook. So use one social media outlet to drive your clicks to the other outlets. Research your facts. Like I said before, use YouTube, use Google AdWords, use online search statistics like I showed you before. Find out what people are talking about. Go out there, find 10 discussion groups on LinkedIn or Facebook that pertain to your topic and get involved in those. So these are the things you can actively do. These are the things you can start today to get started. So find 10 discussion groups on LinkedIn and Facebook that pertain to your topic. Start talking in them. Remember, small niches are the best for the reasons I told you before. It's easy to find a small niche. They're going to find you more easily. Then they'll find your other stuff once you're in there. But start small niches that you can get a lot of attention quickly with, and then commit to at least 1 post per week, like I said before. And finally, remember to have a place to send your fans. Have a lead magnet. Have a YouTube channel. Have a web page. Have a Sumo Me or something like that. Sumo Me is something that we didn't get into today, but it's a great tool. Have a place to send people when they like you, when they want to find you, when you're in the discussion group with them and they want to go get you. All right, let's put it all together. Here's your next steps. Number 1, decide which of these approaches are right for you. Then research what your target audience is asking about. Go out there and find 3 people who are already doing this with success and follow them. Do what they're doing. Maybe they're people maybe they're people you can call or email, maybe they're just experts on YouTube that you can watch their videos, who knows, but find 3 people that you can model that are already successful. Find out where you need help and reach out to a mentor right away. Don't get stuck because of the things you don't know how to do. Don't get stuck because of the myths or the beliefs that you have. If you're stuck, get a mentor to get you unstuck. Go out and buy or download some resource today. Go out today. Tony Robbins is a mentor of mine that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He says, never leave the scene of setting a goal without taking some action toward its attainment immediately. So go out and buy or download a free resource today and just simply get started. And that's it. So remember, the slide deck for today is available for download at michaelbranton.com/5waysdeck. I invite you to go get that deck. There's a lot of good information here. I know I've been moving very quickly. I hope that everybody found something that's valuable here. I know there are lots of folks who maybe got interrupted and had to come back. Feel free to go get the deck. I put it out there for you to use. Please do go get it, michaelbranton.com/5waysdeck. Also remember the free coaching. I would love to meet every single one of you and hear about your business, hear about your challenges, hear about what's working well, and how I can help you. I promise if we spend an hour together, you will get value from that. And whether we continue to do business together or not, whether I continue to be a coach of yours after that free hour, doesn't matter. If I can help you, I would love to meet you, and I would love to work with you for free. And that's it. So we're about a minute, I guess 2 minutes over. So I want to be respectful for everybody's time. So we're not going to do Q&A today. If you do have questions, please feel free to email me directly. My email address is mike@michaelbranton.com, mike@michaelbranton.com. shoot me a note. Shoot me any questions you have. Sign up for the free coaching if there's something that you want to go deeper in. I'd love to do that with you. Regardless of whether I hear from you again or we ever meet, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today. For somebody to take an hour out of their day to join me is very, very meaningful. So thank you. I hope I repaid you with some value. Until then, good luck in everything you do. I hope we meet again.